Hey everybody, this is Adam for the Animals. Thank you for watching my very first topical video. Now I spent some time thinking about what I'm going to be covering today, and here it is. Many would call today an age of uncertainty. Singular devotion to any creed or religious belief or deity has decreased dramatically in the 21st century. This could be in part due to the sheer amount of accessible information via the internet. With so many different religions, ideologies, and value systems fighting for our attention, many of us have just chosen to take the most logical route and view them all as equally deserving of skepticism and refrain from considering any of them as absolute or true in any pure sense. Thus, the spiritual supermarket has kind of become an all-you-can-eat buffet. We have the freedom to pick and choose bits of creeds that suit our moral appetites without fear of consequence, because by not abiding completely by any of them, we avoid falling into the traps that bind us to them, such as a firm belief in hell, in Christian doctrine that threatens non-belief with eternal damnation. Thus, we draw from many different belief systems and use components of them to paint a kind of ontological mosaic that comprises our understanding of the world, of life, and of why. So if you're anything like me, you like a lot of ideas from a lot of different belief systems, but you abide seriously by none of them. And the belief or idea is only valuable so long as it has relevance in your present life circumstance. Like, for instance, I got let go of my job to find another job that is better, so thank you, universe, clearly everything happens for a reason. Or, my dog died, so I really hope reincarnation is a thing so I can maybe meet my dog again in another form in this life, or something like that. These examples demonstrate our tendency to ascribe temporal legitimacy to ideas based on how it suits us to believe them. There are obvious advantages to this dabble in everything but believe in nothing mentality. But I think the downside is the most crippling aspect of our society today, that we really don't have anything to live for. We don't know our purpose. We don't even think we can know our purpose. We kind of fumble about blindly with no clear direction except for what suits our immediate needs and ambitions. We're taught to focus on ourselves, to make money, to walk the straight and narrow through career choice to partner choice to raising a family. Society defines clearly a path to a comfortable, typical existence. This world is our playground, but somehow I don't feel free to play in it. Personally, I've felt this void for most of my life. Existence is such a confusing event. There are just so many different ways to interpret what's happening, and even more ways to interpret why it's happening. And we're just so small and insignificant. I feel suffocated by the sheer scale of everything. I've searched for direction in religion, in spiritual practices, even in hallucinogens. And each of these has opened up great possibilities for purpose. But you know how it is. The more you dive into something, the more you realize that you know absolutely nothing about it. The broader the understanding, the broader the scope of total possible understanding. In short, no existential practice concerning why and what to do has left me with any conclusive answers. Now I want to take a step back from understanding existence on a personal level and instead broaden it to try to consider existence from a global scale. What is the fate of mankind? Why do we possess this degree of self-awareness and intelligence that other animals do not? Do we, the self-appointed rulers and stewards of this planet, have any legitimate responsibility to care for this planet, or does it not matter at all? I'm an actor, and I like to consider life itself as a kind of drama. After all, once we're old and we're on death's doorstep, all we have left are memories of our life, and memories are a kind of personal story about what happened in our lives and how it felt to us. So, memories are stories, and stories contain drama. The definition of drama is a play for radio, television, or film. And I think the important thing to note in this definition is the idea of play. To me, this means that it isn't real, or that it doesn't have any actual consequences beyond the realm of the play itself. Returning back to trying to understand our collective existence, I think it's safe to assume that many of us, myself included, don't feel like there is an objective meaning to anything. That, like, if the planet were to suddenly be swallowed by a black hole, rendering all human advancement and achievement moot and erased, that it wouldn't actually matter. On a personal level, of course it does matter, because we'd all lose our lives, and built into us all is an innate drive to survive. We don't want this to happen, but if it were to, I'd wager many of you would agree with me that our collective disappearance would have no actual ramifications to the unfolding and grand scale events of the universe as a whole. So therefore, I think it fitting to consider the whole of human experience as a kind of grand drama, When you're involved with it, the consequences are real and there is meaning in everything. But outside of it or beyond it, it actually amounts to nothing. The point I'm trying to make is that we are all part of this drama. We all play a role in how this story unfolds. What the story means is probably nothing at all, or at least it can't be confirmed, but there is a story being enacted by each and every one of us, and each and every one of us contributes to the story as a whole. We invented the idea of a story. We love stories. They are a part of all culture and all religious teaching, and they continue to be the most effective method in conveying an idea or a moral value or even a reason for being. They are effective because they allow the listener to experience the story vicariously, giving them an inside glimpse at the inner life of the characters in the story, and most importantly, what they stand for. Stories always revolve around a conflict. This conflict can range in scale dramatically. Now, considering our collective existence as a drama, what do you think is the most dominant conflict present in our existence right now? To me, this is nothing more than the unimaginable reality that our actions are having disastrous consequences on the Earth itself. Mass species extinction, exponential rise in global temperatures, acidic oceans, errant weather systems wreaking havoc, rainforest depletion. We are on the brink of complete ecological collapse. The majority of environmental scientists confirm that the tipping point is close at hand. If we do not alter our course of excessive consumption at the expense of the planet, we will live to experience changes so severe that they will completely alter the way we live. Or many of us will die, and many species of animal will die. It's already happening. This grand drama seems to be reaching a climax, and this climax could happen in our lifetimes. Which way will we go? Consume the planet because of our insatiable greed, or rise to the occasion and alter our course for its preservation? Now, I'm not arguing that any of this has any objective meaning. We could very well run this planet and ourselves into extinction, and it wouldn't matter. But does it matter to you? And if so, why? Perhaps you want to save yourself? Perhaps you think that the other non-human animal species on this planet, who are totally clear of fault, don't deserve to be victims? Let's consider who takes up what role in this global drama. For starters, I think we are all the lead characters. Now, I make this claim because I think we are all free and we all have moral agency, which is the right to act in accordance with what we think is right. So our actions have real consequences to the conclusion of the plot. The animals are the victims. Clearly this is so because due to their innocence, they are powerless to prevent themselves from being oppressed. And we are oppressing them on a scale too big to comprehend. Estimates say that between 55 and 75 billion land animals are slaughtered every year for human consumption. What about our industries and our corporations? Now, to me, they're the villains. They play the villains. They have vested interests in preserving the status quo, which is continued destruction for the sake of self-interest and profit. They do not change. They are powerful, formidable foes with deep financial resources. If things play out their way, we will see complete ecological collapse. The stage is set. Us leading actors have a dilemma. The way we currently live is contributing to this destruction. We support the industries that slaughter these innocent beings. The business model has proven to be unsustainable. More importantly, this business model is the leading contributor in environmental destruction. There's little time left to decide. On one side, we have convenience, we have ease, we have tradition. And on the other, we have harsh truth. We have suffering, we have challenges, and we have pain. What to choose? If this drama were unfolding before our eyes on a movie screen, what would make for the most compelling plot? Do the lead characters settle in, or do they rise up? What's more, now knowing what they know, would viewers detest those characters who chose willful ignorance over the burden of truth? What would we say about them? Would we see them become the villains? And what about the characters who chose to rise to the occasion and go against the status quo? Would we call them honorable? Would we call them brave, righteous? Here's the point. We are living this drama. This is really happening. Each and every one of us has a choice to make. What side of history do we choose to be on? To me, this is how veganism ties in with all of this. Veganism as a philosophy is a way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. To me, this is such a refreshing way of thinking. Rather than search for any objective truths, I can look at the situation at hand using both logic and emotion and determine that what I value as meaningful and purposeful is the continuation of this beautiful enterprise that is the planet Earth and all of its inhabitants, animals included. We all have a right to live free and follow our ambitions. I do not believe in oppression of animals because I do not believe in oppression for myself. Animals share this experience of living in a remarkably similar way to us, and we know this because we can see that they are anatomically and biologically almost identical to us. They sleep, they eat, they breathe, they dream. They see, they feel, they taste, they hear. They have an interest in living that is as hardwired into them as it is into us. Our instincts guide us towards continuing. This all ties in so beautifully to me with the grand drama of the Earth, because in order to save the Earth, we need to stop exploiting animals. The most impactful action an individual can take to help save this planet is to be vegan. So cleanly, so serendipitously, so perfectly does animal liberation and an end to mass oppression link directly to the actions we must take to save this planet. This has become my why. The continuation of life of all forms is something I strive to preserve, and I'm aware of what my responsibilities are as a leading actor on this stage. I have the power to change, and I have the power to help others change, so that's what must be done. I don't know why we're here, but I do know that we want to be here. So too do the animals that we share this planet with. And in order to continue this journey, we must take immediate action, each and every one of us. There is a clear plot at work, and the stakes and the severity of the consequences could not be higher. And maybe it's all for nothing. We just don't know. Meaning in its truest form is subjective. But there is nothing subjective about what must be done in order to save the planet. And there is nothing subjective about the suffering of the animals. I ask you, who may be without a cause, without a reason, to find yours in this movement. Be on the right side of history. Be a part of the movement that says we are all equal and we all deserve to live and to liberty. And together, we can save this planet. Thanks for watching. This has been Adam for the Animals, and this is Rupert.